few years ago, the national governing body for parkour and freerunning in Britain, Parkour UK, split the community into categories to try and help us better understand how they were going to help and serve the community. However, despite their intentions, these categories have not been that well explained. So let's have a deep dive into the unstructured versus the structured communities. So first off, what is the difference between a structured and an unstructured community? Well, a structured community is anywhere where there are official parkour businesses. This is gyms, and coaches, clubs, and even content creators. However, an unstructured community doesn't have any of that. It's just a bunch of people training together. Nothing really organized, just people jumping around, having fun, and getting tips off one another. And the key thing to remember is that these two aren't separated. It's not like one city is structured because there are classes somewhere within it, and another city is unstructured because there are no classes whatsoever. They can exist together in the same city, in the same area, just like they do in Edinburgh. The most obvious example of a structured community in Edinburgh is anyone who's part of Access Parkour. Access Parkour pretty much run the Edinburgh parkour scene with regular group classes, one-to-one classes, taster sessions, birthday parties, jams, anything parkour related that isn't a competition. So naturally, anyone involved with them is part of a structured community. However, there are still many people in Edinburgh that train parkour and have nothing to do with Access Parkour whatsoever. They train together, give each other coaching tips, but there's no money ever taken. They just sort of chill, hang out and train throughout Edinburgh and travel to nearby towns and cities. And the thing with this is that if the unstructured community members train with members of Access Parkour, they don't suddenly become part of the structured community. The same vice versa. If a member of Access Parkour goes and trains with someone who has nothing to do with Access Parkour as an organization, it doesn't mean they're suddenly unstructured. It's what people do most regularly. If they're a Access Parkour regular, they're structured. If they're not anything to do with Access Parkour or any other organization in Edinburgh, then they are unstructured. Now we move on to the grey area, and the grey area involves communities that don't fit into the structured or unstructured categories. This is either because they constantly go between being structured or unstructured, or they just don't seem to fit in one or the other, and different people have different opinions on which category they fit into. A prime example in Scotland is Aberdeen. Now, Aberdeen over the last few years has had classes and jams run by different organisations, so it's technically been part of the structured community. There's been Aberdeen Parkour Coaching, Parkour Expression CIC, and Limitless Movement Coaching. However, these haven't run consistently, and there's often been gaps where one organisation will take over and then the other one comes back in line, and they basically play a game of swapsies with the structured community over the space of a few years. Currently, there is no structure to the Aberdeen community. There's a couple of people training every now and then, no classes, a very rare jam. However, recently there was the Aberdeen mini takeover, and if you've not seen the documentary about that, link will be somewhere around here. So where would you put Aberdeen? Would you say it's structured because it held a competition and there are jams and there have been classes in the past? Or would you put it in the unstructured because yeah, it was just a one-off competition, but there's still no classes and there's still no large community or structure to it? Or would you just leave it in the grey area because it's too difficult to try and put it into one of the two categories? Yeah. Let's go. So to finish off, the unstructured and structured community categories, despite being well-intentioned, do come with a bit of confusion, especially as there is not that much information out there about it. This whole video has been made by me basically asking members of the community what they think the requirements are for you to be in either the unstructured or the structured categories. So since shooting and almost fully editing this video, I've just been informed that Parkour UK no longer use this method to define communities. So this video is unintentionally a historical video, I guess, on a method that Parkour UK tried to implement and then realised that it didn't actually work. But when I was doing this research, the people I spoke to were of the opinion that it was still in use, or they thought it might be in use, or they just didn't know. So there you go. Back to the video. Thank you so much for watching this video on the difference between the structured and the unstructured parkour communities. I hope it has cleared up a little bit of confusion about what these categories are all about. Don't forget to support the channel by giving this video a like, maybe a share, and of course, clicking that subscribe button. This is my last video for this season, so I'll see you all again in August with a brand new series, Scottish parkour history, general parkour topics, and as always, I'll see you around.